Honorable Mare, I agreed with almost everything you said today, except that, and I want your permission, Chair, to use the word focal. Because in my hometown, you know, focal means nothing. I will reiterate what I said. We put focal on that sheet, nothing. Now,
Chairperson, on a point of order, can you declare with your discretion
Yes, I've
whether
not yet.
you are tolerating the use of the word focal?
Yes,
in
but you
Parliament,
know,
whether in fact it is
There's nothing
parliamentary.
wrong with focal.
you know what is,
There's nothing wrong with word focal.
you know what is your problem, Honorable Member? You stand up, you mention chairperson, and you just proceed, right? As if the chairperson doesn't exist, right? So it doesn't work like that in the House. You stand up, you ask to be recognized. Then the chair will give you recognition and thereafter give you an opportunity to speak, right? So you proceeded without getting permission from the chair. So I'm going to request you to restart what your point of order.
Chairperson, on a point of order.
Over to you.
Thank you very much. Chairperson, could you rule whether the use of the word focal is parliamentary in this House? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll come back to you on that, member, honorable member. Proceed, honorable minister.
Chairperson, I will not, I think it was a deliberate way to drain. The honorable member, Honorable Grunewald will tell you 1994 when you walk in here, I was in the first Rules Committee of the South. I've been a presiding officer longer than anybody I know in this country. And I think I do understand the rules of the National Assembly. And if you want to do that, then the chair will come back to you as to. I deliberately asked to be allowed to use the word focal because it means nothing in South Africa. And you know that. Precisely because you are sitting there and you are always the aura.
So guys, you see that exchange here where you see Miss Rood have to give that guy a smackdown, telling him, number one, let me give you some backstory on Miss Rood before I go to the video. Miss Rood, she was elected in 1994, which was the beginning of the democracy when Mandela won and became president of South Africa. In 1976, she was in the fight with Mandela. Well, not as well, I don't mean it was together, but she was a part of that uprising to fight the apartheid government. And she was exiled in Botswana shortly after Angola. And she was trained as a military personnel in Botswana and Angola, one of the first women to actually become a soldier in the 70s. In them time it was very difficult. And then she returned to South Africa to help fight off the apartheid government. They won. She got elected immediately because again she's a military veteran. And then she becomes the minister she was the minister of defense. She was the chairperson, so that's why she tell the guy she's the longest serving member and she knows the rules and laws of the parliament, so he don't need to remind her of it. That's what she just telling him her seniority and her knowledge before he jump up and yap in his mouth. And he's a member of the apartheid government still, although they're in the position, well, that's the apartheid government, where that's mostly white guys, because you don't really have any black politician in that party. I forget the name of the party, but they are a party. They are opposition. And so this is what she's telling him. The word focal means, translated into English, means absolutely nothing. And as she's saying, he knows this, but again, these people, they wipe out so many indigenous language from South Africa. It's not even funny. That's why she's still telling him he knows the meaning of the word, which means absolutely nothing. But he's trying to suppress the language, the local language to be spoken in parliament. But you cannot, because that's South Africa. That's their mother tongue. How are you going to tell someone they can't use their mother tongue in parliament? They have to use your language. And that is and this is not the first time I did that video on the quick sidebar. I did that video on the new language, that's was spoken on this, it's almost wiped out because it was frowned upon by the apartheid government then. And so whenever anyone used that language in public, they was punished, or the parents was reprimand the kids for not using the language. Anyway, so now Young have one fluent speaker of that language, a new language. Go look it up on I'll put the link in the description for that video. And let's go back to this. So they are still trying to wipe out African culture, because they're trying to repress words to be used in parliament that is of the motherland. So I like her response. She's very calm, she's very collective, and also the response of the chairperson, who said, you're disrespecting me, basically, because you stand up, you start talking without waiting on me to say, yo, yes, I recognize you, you can speak. He just jump up and as if he's still, because he's white and he have privilege, so he can just do what he wants in parliament. No, it doesn't work like that. The chairperson still is the head of the parliament, so that's why the chairperson also put him in his place. So, yo, hold up, start over, address me, then wait for me to respond, then you can say your piece. And that was done. I respect that from the chairperson as well. That's a big, so he gets smacked down twice by the military, Miss Rood, the military veteran / Minister of Defense. And he just showing his colors. So I like the fact that they stand up to him and tell, listen to me, you don't run this. This is not the apartheid times. So sit down, relax, and do your thing. And also, people won't agree with me, but I blame Mandela for what South Africa is going through, because that speech he gave when he becomes president, that from this day forward we will move on peacefully, I've never agreed with that. Even though I was young, I always saw that as something that was a Christian would do. And you can't, and think he become a Christian, if I'm not mistaken, he become Christian in prison. That's what I hate with Christianity and religion. It makes you want to, oh, you must forgive and forgive. No, they did brutal things to South Africans. Dogs, water hose, shot, beat to death, shoot them on sight. And then you're going to come into power and tell them, so all of that is forgiven. He didn't take away none of their stolen property, their power, or they still kept their power, and they still kept their status. All of that was the fault of Mandela. Anyway, I don't want to get too deep into that, so I digress. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section. You don't know. Tell a friend, like, share, and subscribe. Peace, one love. Boom.